Throughout the ages, certain women have risen above convention, using their beauty, intellect, and charisma to shape history in ways few could have imagined. These women, often seen as enchantresses or seductresses, showcased not only their allure, but their strategic brilliance and unyielding courage in the face of challenging times. They were more than their reputations. They were game changers, leaving marks on history that were powerful, profound, and permanent. So, sit back as we delve deep into the lives of history's greatest female seductresses, from Cleopatra to Mata Hari. Let's begin with Cleopatra, a name synonymous with allure, intelligence, and power. But here's an immediate truth. Cleopatra's influence was not solely rooted in her famed beauty. Contrary to popular depictions, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt was a master of persuasion and an unrivaled politician. Cleopatra ruled during a tumultuous period in Egyptian history, and her ability to meld seduction with strategy was unparalleled. Close your eyes and imagine this. Cleopatra, barely in her 20s, wrapped in a luxurious Persian carpet, is delivered into the chamber of Julius Caesar. By unrolling into his presence, her dramatic entrance immediately captivates the Roman leader. Cleopatra needed Caesar's support to solidify her claim to the Egyptian throne, and her daring approach was both a political and personal triumph, and their partnership paid off. Her alliance with Caesar not only strengthened Egypt's position globally, but also ushered in a level of economic stability to the region. Fast forward to Mark Antony, the Roman general whose name will forever be intertwined with Cleopatra's. Their love affair was the talk of the ancient world, a relationship that was as much about passion as it was about politics. Cleopatra and Antony were a magnetic pairing, and together their union threatened Rome itself. Though their story eventually ended in tragedy, Cleopatra's ability to weave personal connections into political advantage is a testament to her unparalleled skills as a queen and as a strategic mind. Her allure wasn't just her dramatic eyeliner or elaborate gold-crowned attire, it was her strength, her intellect, and her deep understanding of the human heart. Now, let's pivot to another scintillating name that remains surrounded by mystery and scandal. Mata Hari. Born Margaretha Zell in the late 19th century in the Netherlands, Mata Hari would reinvent herself as an exotic dancer, a persona she cultivated to perfection. With her hypnotic performances, draped in bejeweled costumes, Mata Hari danced her way into prominence in Europe. To the public, she was an artist who mesmerized with her Eastern-inspired routines. To those in positions of power, however, she was much more dangerous. During World War I, Mata Hari became enveloped in allegations of espionage. The details remain murky. History has blurred the line between fact and fiction when it comes to her being a spy for the Germans, the French, or even both. What's not up for debate? Mata Hari's knack for transforming perceptions to suit her needs. Men would empty their coffers, reveal secrets, or create opportunities just to be close to her radiance. When Mata Hari was arrested for being a German spy, her courtroom defense was remarkable. "A courtesan, I admit it," she declared, "but a traitor, never." Still, amidst global conflict and rising paranoia, Mata Hari was sentenced to death by a French court in 1917. On the morning of her execution, eyewitnesses recount her refusal to wear a blindfold, a final display of courage and defiance. Was she really a double agent, or a scapegoat, caught in the throes of war's relentless machinery? While historians continue to debate her story, the name Mata Hari endures as a symbol of the complex interplay between allure and danger, beauty and brutality. Cleopatra and Mata Hari aside, history is replete with other women whose charm and influence shifted the tides of power. Take, for instance, Catherine the Great of Russia. While history often centers on her political achievements, expanding the Russian Empire, modernizing its governance, and championing the arts, Catherine's personal life also became infamous. Catherine captivated her court not just with her wit and strategic vision, but through forming powerful relationships. She understood the art of balancing her romantic liaisons with political strategy, consolidating her power in an empire rife with intrigue and adversaries. While Catherine's romantic entanglements invited rumors and sensationalist tales, they also facilitated her bold and transformative rule. Next, let us look at the dazzling world of Hollywood's golden age, which introduced us to yet another seductress, Marlene Dietrich. Unlike those caught in the swirl of political games, Dietrich's weapon was cultural seduction. Her sultry, deep voice and androgynous image turned traditional beauty norms on their head. Armed with a unique sense of charisma, she drew the world to her, granting her a level of influence that transcended the silver screen. And during World War II, she used this power to perform for Allied troops, denouncing the Nazi regime at great personal risk. She was a cultural seductress of a different kind, whose legacy reshaped ideas of artistry and courage. Of course, seduction isn't about mere looks. It's about the ability to command attention and manipulate perception for personal or political ends. Consider Anne Boleyn, second wife of Henry VIII and mother of Elizabeth I. Anne didn't possess traditional beauty standards of her era, yet she famously enchanted the king. So much so that he upended England's religious and political institutions just to marry her. Anne's sharp intellect, wit, and unrelenting ambition brought her ultimately both immense power and tragedy. Her story not only exemplifies the dangerous dynamics of seduction and influence, but also how power games can turn precarious when romantic and political stakes collide. Then, there's Salome, the biblical figure whose dancing for King Herod continues to be a story of intrigue and caution. Depending on the account, Salome's actions led to tragic consequences. Despite the folklore, she became mythologically linked to the idea that the power of allure can have historic repercussions, no matter the intent behind it. All of these stories distill an unalterable truth. True seduction transcends physical beauty. It's aligned with intelligence, confidence, and, often most importantly, timing. Cleopatra knew when and how to approach Caesar and Antony to secure her empire's position. Matahari wove an image that blurred societal lines, leveraging her persona during a time of immense global chaos. And Catherine the Great showcased the indispensability of alliances, both personal and political, to achieve immortalized greatness. Seduction, then, wasn't merely a tool for personal gain. It was, for many of these women, a mode of survival and a pathway to historical legacy. At a time when society predominantly relegated women to the sidelines, these individuals found ways to carve their niches, influencing not just their contemporaries, but generations that followed. Their strategies might seem unconventional, even controversial, but they wielded their power with intrigue wrapped around intelligence. They didn't just accept the world they were born into, they shaped it. As we wrap up on history's great female seductresses, let's remember, their tales are not strictly tales of romance or physical beauty. They are stories of resilience, brilliance, courage, and an undying drive to leave their mark on a world that's too quick to underestimate the power of allure. These women didn't just manipulate, they inspired. Their stories remind us, true power belongs to those who understand its many faces. If you found this exploration into the lives and legacies of history's greatest seductresses as fascinating as we did, please like this video, share it with fellow history buffs, and subscribe for more riveting insights into the people who shaped our world. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep discovering.